The laughter was what broke me. Not hers, though that stung, but his. That easy, confident sound that only men make when they believe the world owes them something. It cut through the music, through the flashing lights, through the slow suffocation I'd been sitting in for hours. They were on the dance floor again, her hand on his shoulder, his hand on her waist. The kind of touch that pretends to be friendly, but lingers a second too long. When someone near the table asked if she was married, she didn't even look at me. She just smirked, leaned closer to him and said, "Not really. It doesn't count when he's boring." They laughed, and I didn't. The room spun a little, not from the whiskey, but from the silence that followed in my head. Every sound dulled, except for their laughter, sharp, rehearsed, deliberate. I wanted to leave, but leaving would have given her power, so I sat there, watching. That's how she wanted it, I realized, to make me watch. On the drive home, she hummed to herself, drunk on the night, on attention, on him. The streetlights painted her in fleeting flashes of gold and shadow. "Don't look at me like that," she said eventually. I hadn't said a word. "You were being weird all night," she added, scrolling through her phone. "You could have danced too, you know." I didn't answer. I watched the reflection of her phone light flicker across her face. Her smile faded when she noticed. "You're overthinking again," she said. "It was just a dance. Just a dance. Just a laugh. Just a marriage." The house was silent when we entered. She kicked off her heels, muttered something about being tired, and disappeared into the bedroom. I stayed in the dark living room. The wedding band on my hand felt heavier than usual, like it wanted to slide off on its own. On the coffee table, her phone buzzed. A message, then another. I didn't reach for it, not yet. But the glow of the screen lingered in the dark, soft, pulsing, waiting. I began to notice things after that, small, deliberate omissions, late nights, half-truths, locked screens. She became fluent in casual lies, the kind said with a laugh and a dismissive hand wave. I learned to listen not to what she said, but what she avoided. The male best friend, Ethan, that was his name. She'd known him forever. He helped her through a lot. Every mention of him now sounded like an echo, rehearsed and defensive. I didn't confront her. I studied her instead. Patterns, habits, schedules. I started checking the shared cloud account we once used, photos deleted, calls hidden under renamed contacts. I didn't rage. I documented. One evening, when she said she was meeting a friend, I followed, at a distance. The restaurant was dim, romantic. She laughed like she hadn't laughed with me in months. Ethan leaned in across the table, fingers brushing hers. She didn't pull away. The sound of her voice carried across the room. Familiar, false. It was the same tone she used when she told me she loved me. That night, she came home smelling of his cologne. When she kissed me goodnight, I didn't kiss back. I just memorized the scent of betrayal. I ordered a detailed phone record the next day. I knew what I was looking for, but I needed proof. It arrived 3 days later. Her number, his, hours of calls, midnight messages. One, the night of the wedding. He didn't even notice. Told you he wouldn't. I noticed. I noticed everything. I printed the call logs, placed them neatly in an envelope, waited for her at the dining table. When she came in, she looked startled. "Why are you sitting in the dark?" I slid the envelope across the table. She frowned, opened it, scanned the papers. Color drained from her face. "Where did you—" I cut her off with a quiet, "Does it matter?" Her lips parted. A lie almost escaped, but she stopped herself. Tears threatened, but I could see calculation behind them. She wasn't sorry. She was cornered. I didn't— "Don't," I said. My voice was calm, almost gentle. "You meant every second of it." Silence. Her breathing quickened. Mine didn't. For once, I felt in control of the air between us. She reached for my hand. I didn't move. That tiny hesitation, her realization that I was no longer reachable, was the moment she broke. The next morning, she woke to the sound of birds and nothing else. My side of the bed was empty. The wardrobe half cleared. On the kitchen counter, a single envelope. Inside it, a printed photo from the wedding. Her and Ethan on the dance floor. Her laughter caught mid-motion. On the back, I had written only 4 words. Now it counts, doesn't it? No arguments, no screaming, just absence. By the time she found the message I'd sent to Ethan, forwarded copies of their texts, their photos, their plans, my phone was already off. She called. Again and again, then stopped. That silence was the sound of everything collapsing. I didn't need to ruin her publicly. The truth was a quiet enough weapon. I rented a small apartment across town. It was nothing like the house. Bare walls, no photos, no memories. Peaceful. Sometimes I hear songs from that wedding on the radio. They don't hurt anymore. They just sound empty. I learned something that night. Betrayal doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers, laughs, and dances while you watch. And when you finally stop watching, it stops existing. She still texts sometimes. Apologies, nostalgia, desperation. I don't respond. Because she was right about one thing that night. It doesn't count when it's boring. It only counts when it's over.